What's up, Buttercup? I'm Pam Barnes, marketing expert,
And I'm Hannah Cox, business strategist,
and this is the Go Getter Gals podcast.
where everyday gals grow together and you'll find resources to help you grow personally and professionally.
What's up, Buttercups? Today's episode is going to be super, super fun. I am so excited about this one. What do you think, Hannah?
I am too. I feel like it's really important. It's going to be fun, but it's important to talk about
Yes.
all the things that we do as women, and we are going to be dropping some confessions today. So, what do we say, Pam?
We listen and we don't judge.
That's right. We listen and we don't judge. So yeah, I think if we're being honest, women and just everybody really, but women, especially moms, we're just walking around kind of doing some absolutely ridiculous things every day to get by. And I have a feeling that a lot of us think that we're alone. And today we're going to debunk that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Life is just hard, and sometimes we're just doing it and we're stumbling through it.
Right? And I don't know, I remember this being a trend not too long ago online where people were like, "We listen and we don't judge," and then they'd, like, confess to something, and it was things like, I don't know, "I forget what I was doing when I walked into a room all the time," or, "I'll say that I'm 5 minutes away when I'm actually just leaving my driveway," you know?
That's me 110%. And I work so hard not to be like guys. But when I'm locked in, I give it my 110%. Like, so sometimes that extends. But I did listen to a podcast recently about that, and that's actually a sign of disrespect. So I am working on that, even though I do not mean it disrespectfully whatsoever. But anyways, again, we listen and we don't judge, right?
That's right. Well, we probably will say that multiple times, this episode, because there are some really silly and relatable examples, like rehearsing conversations while you're in the shower that you'll never have, or keeping 40 tabs open on your browser at all times. But I think it's gonna be really important to nail down some of the things that me and you, feel judged for, or maybe we're afraid we're gonna be judged for. Because I do want everyone listening to walk away realizing that they are not alone and that, we have a bigger meeting for this podcast of, like, how to address those feelings, but let's start with the fun part.
Exactly, exactly. So, Hannah, do you want to go into the wonderful things that you do that people may judge you for, or you feel people may judge you for? And let's just get real and fun with it.
Yeah, and before we started recording, we were brainstorming our real examples, and it was kinda hard, it was kinda painful. There was,
hmm
like, a reaction in my chest when I was like, "Am I gonna say this on the podcast?" Because I do feel like, there is, like, a community online of moms who might look down on me for what I'm about to say, but we listen and we don't judge. There are times during the week, sometimes more than once a week, where my children will get unlimited screen time so that I can just survive the night.
How bitter did that feel?
It hurts a little bit because I recognize that, there's a reason why screen time limits exist. I see it in my oldest at times where he gets a little bit sassy, he gets a little bit of an attitude, and I know that it's because of me taking away his tablet or his YouTube videos, and, when that happens, I always feel that knife in my chest of, like, "Why did I encourage this behavior?" I also know, I can convince myself that it's not all bad because I like to make sure that they're only watching educational things, and that's how I tell myself it's not that bad. So yeah, while my kid can do, square numbers at 4 years old, he also has an attitude when I turn off the tablet, so but, some nights are hard, and the part that makes me feel judged is that sometimes I have more than one hard night a week. So
You are a business owner, and you are a mom, and you are a wife. It is acceptable.
Thank you, Pam, for not judging me.
And listeners, if you relate to this, because I do myself, don't judge yourself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do we wanna go even deeper?
I can. Another thing, and it kinda goes hand in hand with the parental thing, because it's more of a personal thing. This one hurts. I'm, like, rambling 'cause this one's gonna hurt to say, but we listen and we don't judge. I am a trash monster. I don't know how else to say it. I will if I have a snack, if I'm eating a little bag of chips, or I have a coffee, oh my god, I have a Dunkin' coffee cup, I will just leave it. I will leave the trash on the couch. I will leave it on the table instead of picking it up and throwing it away. I unfortunately have had this habit my whole life. If you ask my parents, they'll say it. But it's just something that I do with the intention of like when I stand up, I will go throw this trash away, but I hardly ever do. So if you were to randomly drop into my house without any notice, you would probably find wrappers and stuff around the house, and it might make you feel grossed out.
No, no, my kids do it all the time, and honestly, I have my habit I have food, like, what is it? Not like full food, but like yesterday, because I eat late because I work really late.
Mhm.
So I'll have plates and stuff sitting there, and I'll get them in the morning or in the afternoon. Like this morning, I have this podcast, so I'll get it when we leave this podcast. So,
That's the trap though,
yeah,
right? Because it's
yeah.
like you said, I'm a business owner, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a friend, I'm a daughter, I have all these other
Mm.
responsibilities. So when I'm like, I'll pick it up when I stand up and I forget it and I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to bed." I'll pick it up in the morning. Well, now I'm getting the kids ready for school, and then I get back from dropping them off and I'll pick it up when I get back. I get back and I'm like, "Oh, I gotta send this email. I gotta do this work." I'll do it at lunchtime when I take a lunch break, and it just keeps and that's why also I have, scheduled cleaning times. Like, we have cleaning days in our household because, we don't clean every day, and oh my
Mhm.
god, we listen and we don't judge people, okay?
Yes, yes, but you pointed out something that was really good, and I wanna sit there for just 1 second, of the fact that you're also a friend, along with the other jobs that you have. You're also a pet owner. Like, all of these things, think about all the things in your to-do list, because I know you stay up late at night with the to-do list going 90 miles
Mhm.
a minute. That seems to be an ongoing thing for all women, right? So, if you sit down and you actually write down everything that you're responsible for, it's kinda scary. It
Yeah.
really is. It's like, "Oh, no wonder I'm overwhelmed all the time, and no wonder I am a hot mess and I'm doing these things," right?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny because I feel like I know why I would feel judged because I have women in my life who don't do these things, who don't have these habits, and I look up to them and I'm like, "Oh, well, if I wanna be this better version of myself that's similar to these habits that these women I look up to have, I don't need to be the kind of person who leaves trash next to me. I need to stand up and go to the trash can like a normal person." But then I also realize that I'm not alone, that there are lots of people who have that personality type, and I say it's a personality type because I've had it since childhood. I can remember my dad getting kind of fussy with me because he would sit down on the couch and then, like, hear a crinkle noise because some little bag was, like, stuffed between the cushions or whatever. And so, like, this is just who I am. I would have to make a conscious effort to change this habit, and I just have never made it a priority because I have other things that I prioritize that are more important to me than the empty little mini serving size bag of chips that I pushed into my couch by accident.
Yes,
Don't come
yes.
over to my house, Pam, and lift up my couch cushions, okay? That's all I have to say.
Mine are bad too. My kids and my dog, and then sometimes me. Yeah, it is just and under my couch. Ugh, I
Oh,
am not the
fine.
mom that moves the furniture and vacuums under the stuff. I'm not that mom. I
Me
try,
either.
except for the kitchen table and, like, the big heavy stuff, yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah, no, me neither. We do it, like, once a year. Like, if something we need falls under the couch, that's when we're cleaning under it. We'll move it and then clean everything while we're there.
That's great. Oh my
But
gosh, that's great.
I,
Oh my
uh
goodness.
I do have one more example, and
Mhm.
then I'm gonna put you in the seat of, listen and don't judge. But this one also, I feel like is relatable as a business owner, and I the only reason I added this to the list is because I do have a fear around it. I have a fear that if someone hears this who works with me, they're gonna feel some sort of way about it. But if you were to ask anyone who works with me, I would probably give them the advice to do exactly this. And that is that I schedule time on my calendar during my workday to like watch YouTube or something for myself. And I feel, judged for on a couple of different levels. If one of my clients were to hear me say, "Oh yeah, my schedule is unavailable because I have blocked out time to watch YouTube," they probably would be upset about that. And they'll probably be like, "Well, how much time does Hannah actually work? Because she's scheduling YouTube." But then also if my husband were to hear this episode and he would know that, then he might feel hurt because, he works in the house as well, and if we ever have free time at the same time, we he wants to spend it with me. My husband's love language is quality time, and, I like to be alone. Not all the time. I love spending time with my husband, but I need time alone. So when my kids
Mm.
are in daycare and I should be working, sometimes I block out time to just do something, play a game or watch YouTube for an hour and just call it a meeting and block out. I'm busy on my calendar because you can't get in touch with me during that time.
I like that. I think this is 100% relatable, and I've got something very similar to it, but we need to take time for ourselves, and we don't as women. We really don't. Not as much as we should, and I love that you're sharing this part, and hopefully the listeners are taking this as, "Okay, I'm not the only one that prioritizes myself last."
Yes. And like I said, this is advice. It's not only advice that I would give my clients, it's advice that I have given my clients to prioritize themselves as they would a client or as they would some money-making part of their business because they
Mm.
need to, and if that means scheduling it as an appointment on your calendar so everyone else in the world thinks that you're busy, then do it. So, but if you are one of my clients and you hear this, I promise that I'm working hard for you. There's just probably at least an hour, every other day where I'm prioritizing myself.
Anybody that knows you at all, Hannah, we know how hard you work. So,
Thank you.
again, it's that fear, right? We listen and we don't judge. It's that
Yes.
fear. We all have these fears that we do and we overcompensate. And that looks like over speaking, over explaining, um, avoiding. We avoid a lot of things when we're trying to overcompensate some things because we're just afraid. We're afraid of judgment and we're afraid of falling short and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So this is so good. I loved
It's
it.
it's funny that you said, like, over-explaining as an example because I literally just did that. I didn't even realize I was doing it, but I was like, "But if you're one of my clients, but if you're my husband, but if
Uh-huh.
this," and I didn't have to explain that. The point of the whole thing is sometimes I need time to myself, and I schedule that time, and, I shouldn't be worried about judgment for that. So,
Exactly. It's my time to over explain now.
it's my turn to not judge you, Pam. Alright, give it to me.
Okay, okay. So we listen and we don't judge. Hey, gals, if you love what you're hearing and you want to get more involved, because trust me, I love Go Getter Gals. I'm obsessed with it. If you love this podcast as much as we do, all you have to do is go on our Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, and we're under Go Getter Gals. We are going to have all of our episodes on the podcast link on our website at go-gettergals.com. Thank you for allowing me to interrupt for just a second. We look forward to continuing to help you grow. Without further ado, here's the Go Getter Gals podcast. I'm ex military. And I was raised in a very Christian home, by the way, very sheltered. Then I went out into the world, joined the military, and I joined the Navy. And in the Navy, it is a stigma or a thing that people say, cuss like a sailor. And it is 100% true. And ever since then, it has been very hard. The filter is broken. So in my home, it is my safe space. In my home, I cuss in my home. Cuss words, curse words, they don't exist in my home. And it bothers the little kid in me a little bit, and it bothers my family some, but it is my way to express. And I think it's also another little way of rebel, right? Because again, I was very sheltered as a kid, extremely sheltered. And we all have our little things, right? And we are a little rebellious. And I'm a Southern belle. So I've definitely got that little rebellion thing. And I think that's just one thing that I do. And it's another thing that I don't have to, again, listen and don't judge. I do not have to be someone else in my own home. I'm the Navy sailor that that says bad words.
I love that. I feel like that is something that can be really polarizing, especially in the South and in the Bible Belt. I'm not ex-military. I also was raised in a Christian household, in a Southern household, and I can remember, um, all throughout my teenage years even, I never cussed ever, and then as an adult, I just was like, "I'm an adult. I can say whatever I wanna say." But, like, I also know that that feeling that you just said about, like, sometimes that little kid in you, like, flinches.
Mhm.
That's I stress out right now with 2 little kids at home about not trying not to cuss in front of them because they're parrots, and I don't want them to go to the church daycare and start cussing people out.
Yeah, yeah. It can be challenging when I have friends come over and their kids are over and I watch. I very much watch, but every once in a while it does slip out and then I feel really bad. But at the same time, it is who I am and
Mhm.
I don't hate that part of me. Of course, I ask for forgiveness and I work really hard to be the best person I possibly can be, but I don't know, it's just my thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I feel like your kids grow up not afraid of certain words, and, I think I think it's great. I mean, I know that, like I said, I was afraid of curse words growing up. Um, I don't know. There's no reason to feel any type of judgment here. You're their mom.
Right. Again, see, there, I told you I was going to over explain myself. So
Yeah.
let's go into the second one. So this one gets my mom guilt a lot. And
Mm.
here recently, I've been hanging out with a lot of military moms, and a lot of them are stay at home moms, and they're fabulous women. Like, they are like rock stars when it comes to how they do things. And I'm also a homeschool mom, and they are too. And super inspiring. Like, they got me so excited about the homeschool mom thing. But anyways, um, I lost my train of thought.
You hang out with a
Oh,
lot of military moms.
oh. But anyways, so the thing that I need is that time to myself as well. But the way I do it is I run away. So there's like a little store that's literally a minute down the road. We're like right behind a convenience store. And I would be like, hey, I'm going to go. Or I won't even say anything. I'll just text my son and be like, be right back. And then I'll just go. It's one of those things that I just need, even if it's like 10 minutes or sometimes it's an hour. And I'm not going to lie about it. Sometimes I go grocery shopping because I just need that minute to just be like, I am Pam Barnes in the world and I am nothing other than Pam Barnes. And Pam Barnes wants to go shopping and she's going to go shopping. So that's what I do. And another one is with that whole concept is sometimes I just go in my car and I listen to music or I'll cry because my daughter is like she's my appendage. I'm telling you, this kid is like around me and like all, which I love it, by the way. And hopefully I will help her be the woman that she deserves to be and wants to be in the world. But she's 10. And since she was born to my hip. So sometimes, and see, this is my mama guilt right here. It's hurting my heart to say this, but sometimes I just need to be Pam Barnes in my car and cry and not have to explain to my daughter why I'm crying.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I could totally feel that. I get it. I think every single mom who's listening to this episode gets that. There's no judgment here. I almost was gonna tell you not to include that one because I was like, "Who is gonna judge you for wanting some space from your children?"
Well, okay, so the reason why I'm sharing this is because I shared this with this group that I'm part of, this homeschool mom group.
Yeah.
And they are, I had 3 people say, "You can just leave your house?"
Oh, that's
So this is a
sad.
thing. This is a thing. They're like, "I'd never just leave my house without my kids." And I'm like, "Oh, I feel horrible."
Wait, I mean, you also have a teenager.
I do, he's 15.
So,
Well, he'll be
like
15, like, next month, but still, and I have a husband, and my husband will watch the kids and stuff like that, but I had one mom say, "I don't leave the house without my kids." And I'm
oh
like,
god.
"Ever?" And she's like, "No." And I'm like, "Oh."
That makes me feel bad for her, though, not judging of you.
Right, and she wasn't judging me, by the way. She wasn't judging me. She was just like, "That's an option?"
Oh. Oh, man. I hope she's listening to our podcast. I hope all of those ladies are listening to our podcast and they know.
Yes. But see, that's the military lifestyle though. Like the men, they work. That's what they do. And the women, there's a lot of them that stay at home with the kids and vice versa. Like my husband, when I was in the military, he stayed at home. I worked.
Right.
That's probably one of the reasons why I run away because I'm used to being the one that goes. And the
Mhm.
fact that I can't go right now because my husband's in the military now and he's gone, it's like eats at me. I'm like, I just need to go.
Well, no judgment here. No judgment here. You have one more chance to make me judge you, Pam. What's the
Okay,
last
okay,
one?
okay, 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 okay. So this one I feel really bad about. And I'll put this one last because I really do try to pour into people and be the best I possibly can be. And my whole mission is grow through connection. And I have learned recently, I've been listening to a lot of different leadership podcasts and stuff, that the way that I act in this scenario means that I'm actually hurting myself in a way. But let me let me tell you what I do. Okay? When I get a solicitor call or I have to pay a bill and it's a robot, I instantly get very angry. And I think my mom instilled this into me because I remember as a kid, she'd just scream in the phone. And I don't know who had our number when I was a kid, but they called constantly. Constantly. And back then, I don't know if you remember this or not, but back then you would get charged if you picked up the phone or if you called the number back and it was long distance. And it could have just been a town over. So, anyways, so my mom would freak out about that because we were a one income home and we needed to make sure that we didn't pay some outrageous bill. And I like to make long distance phone calls. So my mom would panic a lot about that. So I think I've instilled that. But when I get these calls or I have to deal with a robot and it's an inconvenience to my time, I get really angry and I yell. I'm not very nice about it. And that sucks in a way. And I've been learning recently. Again, we listen and we don't judge. So actually I'm wanting to try to fix myself over here. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. I did listen to something recently on leadership and I'm working on it. But I know I'm not the only one that does this. I share this with some of my friends and they're like, "Yeah, it gets on my nerves."
100%. When we were talking about it earlier, and we were talking about, like, the robot that answers the phone for businesses and how, like, the quickest way to piss me off is for it to ignore me hitting 0 because 'cause I'll hear it and I'll just start spamming 0, and then if it's not listening to me, I'll be like, "Representative, representative." Like, I'm just,
Yeah.
like, getting really mad.
Yeah, my daughter's like, "Mom, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Ah."
"Operator, representative, customer service."
And they've gotten smart, and they make it to where 0 isn't the number now, so you just hit 0 and it does nothing, and I'm like, "I do not like you."
Right. So
Oh my goodness. So I don't know if you noticed that, but, like, I was super excited and happy, and then my tone kinda changed a little bit. I was having some heart palpitations, and I wasn't feeling well, so anyways, that's kind of how, uh, my body works sometimes, and I'm over here listening to Don't Judge.
yeah, we listen and we don't judge, and, it's fine. We'll edit that part out. It'll be fine.
Okay, so why do we do this? Why do we judge, and why do we hide this stuff?
I think a part of it is probably because, like, we're carrying so much, like you were talking about, where if we were to sit down and write out everything that we're responsible for, like, truly, because I know some of us will downplay what we do, but if you are, like, the emotional support for your parents, for your friends, if you are keeping track of doctor's appointments and meal planning, and you cook and you clean and you run a business or you have a job or whatever, and you are a spouse, a friend, a daughter, a mother, everything, um, I think that there is a lot of pressure that women put on themselves to be the perfect version of all of those things. So when we do stuff that other people look at us, maybe if someone, maybe you don't even know that you're doing something judge worthy, but then, you talk about it with someone and you get a pause or a side eye, and now you're self-conscious. And now you're like, "Oh, I need to hide this. I this is something bad about me. There's something wrong with me, or I'm doing something wrong." I think that's why we hide these things and we try to pretend like we're perfect.
Yep, or over explain because
Mhm.
we want to keep the friendships, and we wanna keep our vision of ourselves, and
Mhm.
they what we think their vision of us is. So we over explain. It's like, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, and it's hard. Not only do we not have to do that, that's really hard to do with the mental load, with all of the decisions that we have to make every day. We're fatigued mentally, we're overstimulated, and then on top of that, we're also managing this appearance, this, like, cosplay that we put on for other people, to make sure that everyone who comes in contact with us, and I'm guilty of this. I have this weird, like, instinct, habit, I don't know, knee-jerk reaction that when I meet someone, I always want that person to look at me with admiration of some kind. Like, "Oh, wow, Hannah is hardworking. Hannah is knowledgeable. Hannah is kind. Hannah's a good friend. Hannah's all of these amazing things," and I'd never want to hear criticism. Nobody does, but I take criticism so hard, even if it's just not actual criticism. I've said this, I've probably said this on the podcast before. I know I've said this to friends of mine who struggle with the same thing. You can be the sweetest peach in the grocery store, but some people don't like peaches,
Mhm.
and there's nothing you can do about that.
Nope, and you are 100% correct. So this is the real reason why this matters. This is the real reason why we're talking about this, is so that way you can relate to another woman, and you can give yourself permission to be okay with it. You don't have to fix everything about yourself. Go Getter
Yeah,
Gals is all about growth through connection and helping women be the best that they possibly can be. But that doesn't mean that you have to change everything. That doesn't mean you have to change, really.
right. I think the point isn't, "Let's highlight what's wrong with us so we can make a change." The point is, "Let's say this out loud so that somebody listening can recognize maybe part of themselves in these statements and know that they're going through the same thing and that they're not alone, they're not wrong, they're not worth any type of harsh judgment just because they have to give their kids a tablet a couple of nights a week so they can survive.
Exactly. Exactly. Find your community and find your tribe.
And that's perfect. That's the perfect segue because we are the Go Getter Gals podcast. We have a tribe called Go Getter Gals. And if you are a woman, you belong in this tribe. That's it. It's not if you could be a businesswoman, a stay-at-home mom, you can be a retiree, you can be a student. If you are a woman, you can be a go-getter gal. And that's exactly why we created Go Getter Gals, why we have this podcast, why we have the get-togethers, and why we're building a community, in the process of building an online community right now for all of these wonderful women to join. You are not alone and you don't need to be. We share experiences, we celebrate wins, we have honest conversations, and we grow through connection with each other personally and professionally. So if this is relatable to you, leave a comment below. We listen and we don't judge, so if you're comfortable, leave something you do in the comments. And we're building this community, so we want to hear your voices. Whatever it is that you want to share, we're here. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our podcast. We'll catch you next time. Hey, gals. Thank you for listening to the Go Getter Gal podcast. All of the information for this episode can be found in the show notes. Make sure that you go and like and follow us on Facebook and Instagram, as well as subscribe to us on YouTube. And to find the latest episodes of the Go Getter Gal podcast, you can visit our website at go-gettergals.com. See you next time.